So now I'm going to take my pins, press my seam open, I use a dry heat. Steam will wrinkle your paper, so stay away from steam when there's paper attached. And again, I want to get a good press here, good flat. Looks really strange, but I'll take it over to where I can cut it now. And I'm going to be cutting again on my dotted lines. Following that. I'm just going to cut these stubs right here real quick. So now I have color number 1 and a color number 2, and that is 1/4 of the block. Okay, so now we have made 2 of our 1s, 2 of our 2s, 2 of our 3s, and 2 of our 4s. So you can now begin to see how it's spinning. And depending on how you selected your colors should be opposite of each other. So make sure you double check that before you start sewing. And yes, you should have notches here. You should have a notch there in each of your corners. They'll be notched, and it looks kind of funny here in the middle. It should be a little square in there, but that's the way it should be. So now you're going to want to start sewing this long seam. It's on the bias, so be careful of that. I'm going to go ahead and just start up the corner here, and you will have a stitching line to follow. You will be stitching from off the edge here, down this line, all the way past through to your corner. And yes, you want a pin. And your right sides are together, and everything should meet and match very nicely. So I'm going to sew from this corner to this corner. Paper piecing is very, very precise, and it's simply because you're sewing on a line. And you can hear your needle kind of punch the paper. That's okay. All the way through. So now we have our first quarter finished. And if you'll look on the bottom of page 10, she'll tell you to sew the triangles together and make 4 blocks and to press this seam open. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not removing the paper yet. I'll do the exact same thing here. Just make sure that your pieces are flat and directly on top of each other where they belong. They should match really well. Now, if y'all were sitting here in the room, I'd tell y'all a story right now. But I think stories are going to have to wait till a little later. Again, I'm going to start right on the edge. So now we have sewn our 4 corners together, and next we will sew this seam from here following our line all the way through to the corner. We'll pin it well. I'd like to encourage you to use this time to also sew your 6-inch blocks. See if you can work on those. If you have questions, please feel free to call us. I've started on them and I've got 6 of them finished. Then I started sewing masks. So, alright, so here we go. Our next seam. I am not back tacking because our stitches are so small you wouldn't want to start taking them out, and you don't need to back tack. Just follow that line all the way through over your seam. And again, you will press that seam open. Dry heat. Do that again for the bottom quadrants. Make sure between here to here that you don't sew this seam. This is the seam you want. It's very easy to do. Have to just make sure. Double check yourself. And again, I'm going to pin. It's getting exciting. Okay, here we go. this one open as well. And I've got a nice flat portion of my block. I'm going to match this here, and then we're ready to sew our final seam. Lay it over on top of each other and pin it well. Here's where I like to pin right where my seams should match. This is very, very thick. Make sure you have a good sturdy pin. This is your final seam. Following this seam, you'll be able to remove your paper and press all the seams open, and hopefully this block will measure 12.5 inches. That's what we're aiming for. Further. Okay, here we go on our last seam. Try not to let it push your top fabric out. Here's a big seam. I'm just going to lift this up a bit. Ready to press my seam open, and I can start taking away my papers, and it'll tear fairly simply. I'm just removing it. It's like it's perforated, and that's why you want to use the special foundation paper. And again, that'll be in your kit. Now, once I remove that paper, it'll lay nice and flat. And there you have your 12.5 inch Cactus spinning star is the name of this block. You'll probably fall in love with paper piecing when you're finished. It's a lot of fun. Okay, so here we are with our finished block and the spinning cactus, and it is block number 6. So after you finish this one, you will be halfway through our block of the month. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope to see you in person real soon. Take care and God bless.